Any other questions?
You were talking about 6 and now, does that include the green belt and black belt training
Yes,
within that?
those are all listed in here, yes.
Okay.
Thank you for giving us time on your agenda.
Thank you, and this goes out on YouTube, so to all the residents out there, now you know how to contact them. We have a link on our website to you, and if there's any literature, you're welcome to leave that in the foyer, and you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but if you need to leave, we understand too.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. At this time, I'm going to introduce a special guest that we have that's not on the agenda. This past Sunday, 9/11, I was had the honor of being invited to be at the 911 ceremony that was organized by the Cub Scout Pack 91, Troop 91, and they did an outstanding job. It started as a small idea and it grew like crazy. And their goal was to fill up the stadium at Grays Lake North, and they did a great job. There was a tremendous turnout. And one of the other speakers that was present that day, there were several of us, is Jim Rogers, who I invited to be here tonight. Jim is a senior trustee from Third Lake, and his wife Cindy is here to assist him. And he gave a wonderful talk because he was at the World Trade Center. He worked there when it was being built. But he told me about this wonderful presentation that he had put together as a memorial for the 5th anniversary of 9/11. And the more he told me about it, I thought we needed to see it, and if we could have it here tonight. And so he was kind enough to quickly kind of shorten it a little bit for time's sake because of the meeting. So Jim, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for having me here. One of the things I'd like to...
Do you want to use the mic, Jim? Just that way we'll get you on the tape and everybody will hear you out in YouTube land too.
Okay, thank you for having me here tonight. One of the things I'd like to do is as Mayor Soto said, I worked in the Trade Center back in 74 to 79. To make this a little bit more tangible,
I'm opening it.
we've got, this is a piece...
That's why they keep the kryptonite. That's
This is a piece of the 20th floor of Tower 2. Pass it around to everybody. That is the, give you an idea of the weight of the floor, and also that is the thickness of the floor. Each floor is about 1 acre in size. So as I go through the slides here, you'll see where all the dust came from. I think, okay.
I don't think that mic is working.
It's not.
No, it's not on.
It's not on?
It's on, but I don't think it's turned up in the back there.
Well, it is.
It's not here?
There's no volume.
There it is, no, there it is.
Here it is, okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me start off. I put this presentation together. This was shown on the 31st in the Grays Lake Municipal Museum. And this is a cut-down version of it. Being a trustee, I know what you have to get through here tonight, so I cut it down. I'll start right away, okay? Starting off the World Trade Center. This is a site that we never thought we saw, that we'd see again. This was during construction. This is the inside the bathtub. This is the slurry wall. Am I in anybody's way here? This is the slurry wall. This holds back the Hudson River. They were afraid that after the attacks that there were cracks in this thing. Luckily there wasn't. This is the footprint of one of the towers. And you can see how the construction progressed. This was what it looked like when I was there. Down in the front here, you'll see, this is all landfill. When they dug this down, they dug down 7 stories on 16 acres. There's a lot of dirt that came out. And on this spot right now is Battery Park City and the World Financial Center. You'll see those pictures later on. And here's a shot from the Hudson again. There's nothing in front. Again, this goes back into the 70s when I was there. The next shots
I'm going to show you, this is what it looked like prior to 9/11. You had Battery Park City over here. You had World Financial Center. One of these was American Express, and the other one was World Financial Center. I forget which is which. In front here, it's hard to see, but between the towers, you had the Vista Hotel, a 20-story hotel. Again, approaching the towers. This was the concourse. Okay, this is inside of Tower 2. Tower 2 had an observation deck similar to what you have downtown Hancock and the Willis Tower. However, the one difference is Tower 2, you also had an external observation deck, depending on whether you could go out and walk the periphery of the building. When I was working there, whenever I took guests out, it was always cloudy. Somebody was there on the perfect day, and that's what you're going to see. Just to show you how it was basically at the same level as Tower 1. You can see how it was set back here. You had the raised platform. They put in this electrified fence and the concertina wire because, as in all large structures, you get some people who are disturbed and try to do bad things. Also, when I was there, we had somebody who did base jump off it, i.e. he jumped off with a parachute on, ended up down in the closet and broke his ankle. So they didn't want us to have that happen again. What you're seeing here, and I'll show you what these shots are. That just gives a general idea of what it is. Liberty Island, Ellis Island. This gives you can see far out to sea. That's the Verrazano Bridge, Staten Island, and Brooklyn. This is Governor's Island. We'll see this a little bit later. You can see the harbor. I mean, you have tankers in here, you have pleasure boats. That's the Staten Island Ferry. That's Governor's Island. Down here, this structure is part of the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. Tunnel went across. You'll see over here, these are ventilator shafts for Midway. It pops up somewhere over here in Brooklyn. And this is, by the way, is Battery Park down here. As we walk around the side, this is the Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge. Up here on the side is the Williamsburg Bridge, which only is subway traffic or elevated traffic. And this is the East River. And you can see way in the distance, you've got Connecticut up here, Long Island Sound. I mean, this was a beautiful day. This shot more of the East River. Up here, I'll get a better shot of that. This is the 59th Street Bridge, or the Queensboro Bridge. Underneath it is Roosevelt Island. Again, way in the distance is Long Island Sound in Connecticut. Looking up at Midtown, Empire State Building, Chrysler Tower. This used to be it's now the MetLife Building. It used to be the Pan Am Building. There used to be a heliport on top of that. That's another story. They had a helicopter crash there. That's another story. Again, looking a bit further, and here is the George Washington Bridge, New Jersey, and the Palisades. Getting close, you can see part of Tower 1 coming up over here. You can see some of the docks along the Hudson River. And like I said, this was an exceptional day. You're probably seeing about 30, 35 miles there. Tower 1, right up in here, you had Windows of the World restaurant. Top of the mark restaurant, easily 5 stars. They had probably one of the best wine cellars in the world because of the clientele. Everyone went there once for, I think we brought guests up there just for cocktails at one time. It was expensive. And again, the Tower 1, this was the TV transmission tower and cell phone tower. And this is Hudson River down here in New Jersey. Okay, this is what happened. These are tracks of the planes on 9/11.
This was Tower 1 being hit. This frame was probably taken from a film that two French brothers produced called 9/11. They went with the fire department. This is the shot you see with the fire department guys are down checking a gas leak, and this plane comes overhead, and this is a close-up of it hitting the Tower 1. You see over here, Tower 2 is about to be hit. Now this shot is right at impact. And this shot, somebody was just sitting down and top was cut off. What you see on here, what you saw on here was the plane approaching right above his head. And the aftermath of Tower 2 being hit. From the Woodland Bridge, obviously. Then smoldered for a while. Okay, don't know which tower this is, but in the next slide, I'm going to just point out, we forget about what happened, a lot of times we forget about what happened that day. We see the buildings fall, but right up here, these are people. They've broken the windows, and I can tell you, those windows were armored glass, basically, because they were floor-to-ceiling windows. They were about this wide. So the first thing people, when they were coming in there, was thinking, gee, what happens if I get up against them? I don't know how they broke those windows to get out there. But sadly to say, every one of these people are no longer with us because they either jumped or they were, when the buildings collapsed, obviously, they didn't make it. Again, this is the beginning of the collapse of Tower 2. You can see what happened. It sort of bent at this point, right above the point of being hit, and continued down. I mentioned dust clouds. These look bad enough. A lot of these shots were taken from a Port Authority helicopter, Port Authority police helicopter. This is probably 30 stories high. Just started dissipating, and this is the beginning of the demise of Tower 1. And you can see down here, this is the dust from Tower 2's collapse. You know, imagine being on the street and seeing that coming at you. This bridge, by the way, down here, this pedestrian overpass, if anyone's familiar with New York, that is Canal Street. That's about, well, half a mile north. This, by the way, is Tower 7, which collapsed later on today. That's 53 stories. This is the World Financial Center completely engulfed. Battery Park City. You can see everything is covered with that white stuff, and this is a shot on the ground. So you can, but here's another shot that shows, I mean, the whole Manhattan is just obscured. Damage in one of the buildings in the financial center. Get the Staten Island ferry. You can see at this time you had rescue boats forming out here. This is looking down into the area. It's part of the World Financial Center again. This building was similar to what's down in Navy Pier, where they have palm trees and everything else on the inside of it. You can see, yeah.